The final round of defense cost-sharing negotiations between South Korea and the U.S. ended without a deal. The allies will continue talks in the new year and try to narrow their differences. Meanwhile, America's chief negotiator says Washington is no longer sticking to its initial proposals. Kim Min-ji has the latest.
South Korea and the U.S. have wrapped up their latest round of talks on sharing defense costs without a breakthrough. The two-day round of meetings in Seoul, the fifth so far this year, were the final talks on the matter for 2019. According to South Korea's foreign ministry, the two sides have been able to expand their scope of understanding despite their wide differences, and they vowed to continue their cooperation to reach a mutually acceptable deal. The two sides agreed to continue negotiating in January. Prospects appear dim for the two sides to reach a deal before the end of the year, with the allies far apart on numbers. The U.S. had reportedly demanded South Korea pay $5 billion, a five-fold increase from Seoul's commitments under the current deal, which expires at the end of this month. But in an interview with Seoul's Foreign Ministry press corps, U.S. Chief Negotiator BiDha트 said that when a figure is reached, it will be different from Washington's initial demand.
We have listened in these negotiations probably more than we have spoken. We have adjusted and we have compromised as well. When we reach the agreement, the figure will be different from our initial proposal and probably different from what we've heard from the Korean side so far. So we will find that point of agreement, I think.
Since 1991, Seoul has shouldered partial costs to pay for South Korean civilians employed by U.S. Forces Korea, the construction of military facilities, and logistical support. The U.S. officials said that the current framework does not capture the full range of costs associated to the defense and readiness of South Korea, and that the deal can be, and has been in the past, adjusted upon agreement from both sides. When asked whether Seoul taking part in U.S.-led security initiatives or purchasing U.S. weapons would help talks move forward, BiDha트 said they are important considerations, although they weren't on the negotiation table. He added that it would also be reasonable for South Korea to shoulder the cost for military operations even off the peninsula if it helps defend the country. The U.S. official also brushed off concerns that Washington could reduce the number of its troops stationed on the Korean peninsula or take trade actions against Seoul if it doesn't contribute as much as the U.S. wants. BiDha트 said neither have been discussed and that the talks are focused on how to reach an agreement as quickly as possible that's acceptable to both sides, the National Assembly, and the general public. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.